Hi, everybody. This one's already going. Hi. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Love Day.
I am trying. Happy Love Day.
Whether that is loving yourself or loving someone else or loving others, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship.
Happy Love Day. You could love your cat. You could love your cat today.
Bring in the love, wherever that is.
Yeah, so happy Valentine's, everyone. These ones just started. We're trying to do all three at once because we got sent some questions for like a Valentine's Day quiz. And Kate and I did this a few years ago.
3 years ago, we did this and it was hilarious.
It was funny. We were 7 years in. We had just come back from a dinner, had a couple glasses of wine. So we watch it back and we're like
buzzed and having a good time.
But at the end of this video, we're going to share just a little bit of our story and how we've made it 10 years. We've been together 10 years. It's Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. So I think we just crack into these questions.
Let's crack into it. Yeah, we haven't read these. So they were sent. So we're going to see what is revealed.
That's revealed. And it'll be about 10 or 15 minutes. And at the end, we'll share a little story. Okay. So the first question, you ready?
Uh-huh.
What was your first impression of me and has it changed?
Yes. Yeah, okay. We have a unique beginning because we were a part of this community chat, which was a bunch of friends, and we would all like go to the beach together and do all these different things together. It was like a community, right? And I had never met Paul at any of the events or anywhere. And he one day was just like, oh, like on Messenger, hey, you want to go to a movie? And I was like, yeah, cool. Like, didn't know who he was, but it was such a great group of people. I was like, great, this would be fun. Just go to a movie because he's in the area, right? And so we went on this date, but I had no idea it was a date the whole time. And obviously he's incredibly handsome, but I was just like not even seeing him in that light and even though there was all these romantic things that happened, it was a movie where you have a glass of wine and some cheese while you're watching the movie, and then we went into the car park and there was this man practicing his flute because he was
playing Hallelujah on his flute.
Yeah, and he was like, there was no cars anywhere in this car park except for his car and ours, which are right next to each other, and he's there playing his flute. Because he's like, I live in an apartment building and I can't do it there. And it was like so beautiful. It was this like magical moment. It was really cool. And we just stood there and watched him and like appreciated it. And then and he dropped me home. But the whole time I still didn't know it was a date. So my first impression obviously was that he was super handsome, but I had zero concept of him as a person. So I hadn't formed this.
This was 10 years ago.
This maybe even, I was 11, I think.
Wow, right,
yeah. Wow. So my first impression was nowhere near the impression I have now.
Yeah, and how has it changed? That's the question.
And how has it changed?
Has it changed?
Yes, absolutely. So, getting to know the core of Paul's heart and who he is and how he operates as a human being and as a man has been deeply humbling. And I actually wrote a post about you today. I know. I realized I made 9 posts in the entire year last year, which is like you in one day. So I looked, I counted it. I was like, wow, I really was sparse on that. But yeah, unfolding into like having a spaciousness for being feminine and vulnerable and settling into my feminine is a space I've never occupied before I met Paul. And we've done a lot of work to continue to peel back the layers that no longer served us, or the defense mechanisms or shields that you put up throughout your life in order to protect yourself. So we've peeled back a lot, and we've done a lot of deep work that's sometimes very painful in order to do that. And so the person that stands before me today is nowhere near even a fraction of the first impression that I had. Because to be honest, when I got out of the car, I was like, ooh, that was great, but he's got some stuff going on, and he did, like, unbeknownst to me, he really did have some stuff going on. But I sensed that, but I also sensed the through all the gloriousness of this being, I could sense the shield and the stuff there, like bubbling at the surface. So yeah, just wow. And like all the iterations of what we've gone through in this time, it just, and it changes, and sometimes some moments is more sexy and fun and adventurous and flirtatious, and some is just like sitting in the muck of life and learning to love each other in those deeper, darker places that aren't so sexy and fun, that are like harder, and just continuously choosing to choose that person. So it's, whoa, that was a big first question. Your turn. Are you going to answer the next one? Or this one?
My first impression, I saw you on that same chat. It was a Burning Man group. I saw a picture of you, and I was very attracted to the picture. So I immediately asked her for a date to a movie, which I knew it was a date. And then it was like a slow, it started like it's interesting how it started. It started like, obviously, like...
We didn't go on another date after that for 6 months. Like, we didn't see each other. Like, it was like, and I was going to mind his cat for a while, and then that didn't happen. So it wasn't like, yay, like...
But you were, like, my first impression of you is that you knew who you were, very well-spoken, very articulate, very smart, and like a go-getter. Like, you were managing different Airbnbs and living for free, but it was like designed it also, and you're a great actor and a great singer, and my impression of you was like you were unlike any other person I'd met.
Aww.
Yeah, she's like a hot pocket, hot pocket of power. And then how it's changed, I guess, is just being, now you're the mother to our 3-year-old, and we've been together 10 years. Is just understanding the depth of your loyalty to everyone, like not just to me, but to everyone. Like, you're probably the most loyal person that I know. And it's like, it comes across like you're super feisty, and you're this so opinionated, but it's because you're such a stand, and your boundaries, and like most people give up their boundaries, and like you so know who you are. And that's what I've been learning in the last 10 years is like, there's just no... you don't shift for any reason. You don't change who you are to make somebody happy, or you're just who you are. And it's like, I'm a shapeshifter. So it's like, I have like a lot to learn from you in that realm. So that's how it started, and that's how it is. And just seeing you as a mom is just blowing my mind. I knew you'd be a good mom, but you're a great mom.
You're an amazing, I'm a great mom because you're such a great dad. You give
We have a 3-year-old, by the way.
Spaciousness, and I think parenting it's a team job, and especially when there's just two of you, it's so often left to the mom to do everything, and you're such a huge contributor. So I fully credit I'm able to be the best mom because of who you are as a dad.
Oh.
So thank you.
Thank you, babe. All right, next question. You ready? If we were in a sitcom, what would be our reoccurring joke?
Let's just say that's happening in our near future.
We're going to be in the sitcom.
In the sitcom.
What's our reoccurring joke? Oh, I know what it is.
What is it?
You're always doing all the guy stuff, and I'm like cooking. I'm like cooking and playing music, and you're like on top of falling off a boat trying to keep the raccoons out.
I know. I like
our roles are like reversed. That would be the great premise to a sitcom.
Oh my gosh, it is. Yeah. When we go to Arrowhead, I'm the one like painting the deck and scrubbing it and like sanding.
And I'm setting up for a live.
He's like cooking meals and doing these, and we
finding ways to make the steak taste better. I get my hands dirty when it needs to be. Like, I'm the guy who moves the snow, and I can fix. I am pretty handy.
When he wants to be, he's very handy.
I have a tool case.
But
I grew up on a farm.
But it's true. I'm the one
I can start a tractor.
I always like step into the manual labor thing faster. And,
that's true.
And like, I'm not into. Yeah, well, actually, that's a really cool thing. The way our masculine and feminine work. So, in case you didn't know, we all possess masculine and feminine traits.
It's not male,
and it's
female.
not like male and female. Males should be males and females. No, we need to like actually flow with both, and you just can't occupy the same space. So what that means is like if I'm in decision making mode and he comes in and he's in decision making mode, we're gonna clash. So one person has to like settle into a more feminine aspect of that. So that's a whole nother story, and we can get into that another day. But yeah, so he is this like demigod Viking, like super masculine stance structure that has a very unique ability to just tap into his feminine, which is cooking and music and all of these things. They're all feminine energy. And indecision, which is a Gemini trait actually, is like indecision. So that's like a feminine energy too. So
interesting.
So yeah, so we do switch quite a lot because Aussies are just like built tough.
Get her done.
Like all the animals can bite you, sting you, kill you. Like so we just have this.
And the
different,
men are like Neanderthals.
And men are Neanderthals. So we have this different. I wrote this in my post today too.
Oh, did you?
We have this different way of being. Like women just handle stuff over there, and I'm not unique. All of my friends are the same, and so many of my friends
You're
are
unique.
CEOs
You're
and
unique.
like just killing life, right? So it's like just go in after it. So yeah, it's. And now I've lost the whole question. I've gotten distracted.
We're in the sitcom still.
Oh, the sitcom.
But we figured it out.
That
We're
would
gonna go to
be
the next
the
question.
sitcom. That would be.
I think that would be the premise of the sitcom is the guy looks like he should handle all the guy stuff, but then she's out there like hunting raccoons and protecting her child from raccoons. Well, I'm like, I don't know, making a meal for the raccoon or something. Okay, what's the most embarrassing thing you've done in front of me? Just the other day, I was up here and I'm like,
No, we're not going there.
what?
No.
That embarrasses you. That's like a normal day for me. She tooted and she didn't think I heard it, but it was so far away.
Oh my god.
And I just took off my thing and just sort of like,
no.
I was like,
we don't
babe.
talk about this. This is mortifying. No.
it was so far away.
Then you're a trumpet like every day. Mr. Romantic over here just trumpets like he thinks it's cute and funny.
I go for tone. I'm like always trying to perfect the tone.
Okay.
Wait, no, what's the most embarrassing thing you've done in front of me? No?
I don't want to.
What's okay, we're off tooting. What's the most embarrassing thing? Come on.
I don't know. Let's just go to the next one.
Oh, come on. Okay, what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done in front of me?
No.
If you could plan the perfect date night just from the things around the house, what would it look like?
I think I would figure out how to, I need a projector, I guess. If I could have a projector, I would want to get beanbags and put it on the roof and hang up a sheet and get popcorn and little yummy chocolates and like all of your favorite little things, like a poppy soda and then have it all laid out with twinkle lights and watch like one of your favorite movies. That would be, and then give you a head massage while you're watching the movie.
Ooh, okay. Oh, I like that. I like that.
That would be things around the house, yeah.
Yours would have to be I would make you a beautiful meal with your favorite wine and really great music going. That's like our every night, though.
I know. Here's the thing. This is the funny thing about Valentine's Day is I never make a big deal of it because it's like every day is like that. Paul never fails to make the little moments special. And that's what's so unique about him. He doesn't need some day to be romantic. It's like the daily for him. He's so much more romantic than any romantic characters he's played. He literally lives and breathes romance. And like his superpower is prolonging time. Although we always run out of time because it's maybe prolonged too long. But to stretch out the mundane and make every moment special. And he's like, we could die tomorrow. Let's like have the good bottle of wine.
Let's use the
do
good
this.
wine.
Let's do, like he doesn't save it for some thing. The journey is the moment for him, and like he really truly lives in the moment, which is, I think, so rare. So little people do that. I'm in the future all the time, so I have to be brought back to the present. A lot of people live in the past all the time. He's so in the moment that has limitations at some points, but it's like it's so
it's hard for me to sometimes imagine the future.
But it's so beautiful to live with someone that's cherishing the moment, because this is all we got. This is really all we got, and he makes all the moments special.
But because we have a child, I think the date night would be a romantic meal with him, so he could see how I treat you on Valentine's too, and like maybe give you a foot massage in front of him, like something that he learns to see how to treat a woman.
That's one thing I was thinking about today, is that, you know, we're not people that need to get away from our child in order to have a good time. Like, so many people are like, oh God, I just need time out. And we want him to be a part of our lives all the time, because he's fun, and because we co-parent.
He's hilarious.
And we just want him to be a part of that. And I think that's how everyone used to be, maybe? I don't know. Who knows?
It's probably from necessity.
Who knows? It was like...
Although you watch The Sound of Music, and that dad never saw his kids at all.
Well, I think that was a whole other generation back then. Mm-hmm. But so... Yeah, anyway.
That's a date night, I think. And then a massage, of course, and great music. A movie... Mm-hmm. For sure. A movie, us sitting down to watch a movie is like a real treat for us.
I know. It's not a regular occurrence.
What's a silly habit of mine that you secretly find adorable?
No, that's so I have one thing that bothers me, which I don't know.
If I get stuff stuck in my teeth, I go...
I'm very sound sensitive, like super sound sensitive. Now. So he does it... That's noises, and I was like, woo, that's the only thing that makes me
after
go,
eating,
like, you know, some people chalk on it, like nails on a chalkboard. That's for me, like, oh. But a secret habit that you find, hang on, let me just read it again.
A silly habit of mine that you secretly find adorable. Silly habit. My tooting.
No, I don't find that adorable, but you try and make it cute all the time. Yeah. God, everything you do is adorable.
A silly little habit. What's a silly habit? Leaving my clothes on the floor?
Okay. So Paul has this thing where he overreacts if something sort of hurts him, like one of my nails scratch him, or...
Oh, for sure. You have sharp nails. Not overreacting.
But it's like, he goes to the nth degree where I end up, like, and he's like, oh, my Achilles heel.
Take skin right off.
Yeah.
My Achilles heel is the worst. Her toenails are like daggers.
But he keeps
falling asleep at night.
He keeps going and builds it up and builds it until I'm literally like almost peeing myself, because it's like such a comedy act.
That's true.
And it's just one of my favorite things. And so also sometimes when he's really mad, which is so rare, I end up just laughing hysterically. Like, I find it so cute and adorable when he's like that. He can't even stay mad, because I'm just so chuffed about it.
Yeah, I know. When I get my most frustrated or angry, she like literally laughs. Which is a quick remedy.
But in a loving way. I'm not laughing at him. It's not in a mean way. I'm just like,
it's disarming. Oh. It's very disarming.
I just love it.
Your cute habit is when you're walking in front of me on a hike or something, you take your hand and you kind of rub your bum. But it's just this little you caress.
Totally unaware of it.
You're not aware of it. You just reach your hand and you cup your butt cheek and you and you always do it. When I'm behind you walking, you reach your hand. It's always your left hand, and you you see where your butt sits. And you hold it so tight, and that's how you discovered those pants I bought you were pilling. You're like, are these pilling? It's because you were doing that.
No, it's my little butt rub.
Yeah. It's a little silly habit that I find quite adorable. If you're just joining, we're doing a Valentine's quiz of questions that we have not seen before. What's this one? What's the next one? What is... Okay, 6. What movie or book character do you think I'm the most like? What movie or book character do you think I'm...
I don't know what you're going to say.
You do?
I think. Movie or book character? Trying to think of like the most romantic film there is. Wish I had. I mean, Cary Grant, for sure, that he has those vibes. He's so cinematic. Like, it's almost like he's like, it's almost like there's cameras rolling at all times and he's like just cinematic.
He doesn't. True. I dress up to go to the chiropractor.
Yeah, he doesn't do things just like bleh, like he's like, he does thing. Everything's with ceremony. The way you drink coffee and like there's little things he does that it's almost like a ceremony, and it's sometimes as if there's cameras rolling because he's so cinematic about it. So I mean, gosh, a book character. I don't know. Just.
Yeah, Mary's like.
Oh.
You're like.
Oh, I haven't even read anyone's comments, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
You're like Jessica Rabbit for sure, mixed with. Oh, I just had it. There was a second person that you remind me of so much as a cartoon. It's a cartoon character with big eyes, and like just not Betty Boop, but wait, who did you think I was gonna? Stephanie Seymour.
Oh,
Stephanie, she reminds me of Jane Seymour, the actress.
Seymours.
The Seymours, and Stephanie Seymour, the supermodel. Those are the two. But the movie, trying to think of the movie like that you would remind me of. I'll think probably of a better one later.
I was gonna say, you know that character that turns into a fireball?
Well, you're like Jim Carrey in most of his movies. She's got every Jim Carrey face. She's like,
I do. It's crazy. I have it. Sometimes I catch myself.
Oh, you're that character from that animated film that turns into fire.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So which movie was that? Just turned into, whenever it got angry, it turned into, it just
like
exploded.
An anime.
It was like a Chinese martial arts movie, and this one character, when it got angry, it would turn into fire.
A fireball.
And it didn't know how to contain its fire, and so they had to get banished, but it didn't know what to do with itself. What movie is it? Somebody is Jessica Rabbit. Someone else said Jessica Rabbit. I'll think of it.
What?
We watched it on an airplane.
Guys, tell me what you like, things you see, Paul. I mean, oh no, I gotta do it. I just trying to think of like super romantic movies.
The Princess Bride. As You Wish.
No, you're so much more debonair than that.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
We're running out of time.
Okay.
What's the one thing you were surprised to learn about me after we got together?
So a year after we got together, I learned some pretty deep traumatic things had happened to you that I just didn't know about, like pretty close to thing. And I'm not gonna say it. If you want to say it, you can. But so I learned that was very surprising, and then. Gosh, there was just so much.
I was abducted by aliens. I was abducted by aliens, and it was traumatic for me. Okay, continue.
No, there's so much. There was like I always needed the question. Surprised to learn about you after you got together. I mean, I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know anything. Like, and then I'm not one of those people that like Googles or looks them up or looks at their, like, I'm just not one of those people. So all of it was a total discovery. And just a caveat, like so many people like, oh, they have the perfect relationships. We broke up 4 times and we weren't even together before we broke up. So just when everyone's like, oh, you see that person, I'm like, oh my God, it's like the worlds collide.
Ow! Oh my gosh.
Stop.
You took at my arm.
Stop.
Is it still there? I can't see.
Stop it.
I think your ring went into my arm.
Oh my God, it did not.
Check your ring if it's like a piece of the diamond.
Stop. But yeah, we broke up 4 times. And in it's a short space of time. And then the 4th time I was like, if we need to keep doing this and we're not even together to start with, we should not do this again. Like, let's just be buddies. And then that's when it turned. That's when it turned.
All you gotta do is friend zone me, and I'm all in. She tried to friend zone me. I was like, nope.
So I guess everything was a surprise.
Yeah.
Everything, because I'm not a researcher when it comes to romantic relationships. So yeah. Anything.
Your sense of humor, like how quick you are to laugh, was a surprise and such a relief, because it allows me to be funny and silly, and you're always so quick to laugh. So your laugh that was really special and surprising. You know, you surviving the accident in Thailand was surprising to learn, like 9 blood transfusions and the plates in your leg, and like how you had this intuition from the other side of helping people. That was really surprising to learn all that and to get to experience that. Okay, next question. We gotta keep moving.
Okay.
If you had a song to describe our relationship, which one would it be and why?
There's a song you wrote that I think would describe our relationship.
Oh, that's fun.
Huh?
Oh, the I Love Now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that does actually.
You wrote a song about how we
I'm going to sing it today. I'm going to do a lot of Valentine's.
Yeah, you
Day
should
songs.
only do love songs today.
That was
love
a request actually
only.
by somebody.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Only love songs. I go live at 5:30, by the way, everybody.
Unless you're watching on some other day.
5:30 Pacific. Oh yeah, if you're watching the rerun. Oh yeah, if you're watching this Valentine thing, then today's Friday.
What's the weirdest thing you find attractive about me?
The weirdest thing that I find attractive. That is strange. The weirdest thing that I find attractive. The weirdest thing. I don't know if it's weird. There's nothing weird.
I don't know if it's weird, but like most of you may know or have an idea, but this guy is like funny, like really funny. And I don't think super hunky, handsome, sexy guys are usually very funny as well. So, just your silly, goofy side is like brings me so much joy and is like such like it's the most attractive thing. And like he should totally he's been this romantic character, but he should totally be in a sitcom.
We have to create it. We gotta create this sitcom where I do the cooking.
This funniness is like needs to like I can't be the only one to experience it. Everybody else needs to because it's so dang good.
I think the weirdest thing about you that I find kind of attractive is all your weird Aussie sayings and words. Like we're in 10 years in and she'll drop a word on me and I'll be like, what is that word? And then she goes into this Aussie, this character, this like, what would you call it? The one with the strong Aussie accent where you're like, she's not judgy. She's judgy.
Well, it's like a little sarcastic, but like because Aussies always
do it just for a second
with the intonation. Oh,
come on.
I mean, let me see.
Yeah, that one.
What's the weirdest thing that you would find attractive about me? Like I think I don't know. No, I've got to think of the right things to say.
I find it attractive when she does this really insane. Like, there's a great question. Do you ever get jealous when Paul's doing these romantic Christmas movies? That would be a great question for this. But that's a weird thing about her that I actually find attractive when she does this Aussie accent that's kind of like sarcastic, condescending.
But uplifting.
But it always has a question at the end. I find it kind of attractive. I don't know why.
He loves it.
I do love it. Do you get jealous when I do romantic movies and kiss on these things?
I don't. Actually, we spoke about this in bed last night.
She just judges it when it's a bad kiss.
Yeah, I'm like, that was terrible.
She's like, come on.
But I'm like, ooh, good chemistry when it's like it's good.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was like, you could have tried a bit better there. That one looked terrible. No, I don't because I'm you know, professionally trained actor as well, and it's not that romantic when you're doing those scenes. You've got a million people there, and they're like, cut, okay, let's take it from this angle. It's like
very technical.
It's very technical. So do co-stars fall in love with each other a little bit? Absolutely. I'm completely aware that
parts of them. Parts of you falls in love with parts,
because you're playing a character and that character's falling in love, and and it can get confusing at times. So I'm absolutely present to that happens, and that is part of it.
Word up.
You know, I had a friend the other day going, I just don't think I could ever be with someone like that. He's just too handsome, and he's too, like, you must be really confident. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even think about that. I really know who I am. I know what I'm worth and what my value is. And if Paul was to fall in love with someone else, I'm not gonna like force him to love me. Like, love is a choice that you can continually come back to, and we're not guaranteed that we get that forever. And it's a great dream, and I think you have to commit over and over to choose someone, and you choose them when it's hard, and you choose them when they've done something that is not kosher and like is not right, and it's like you have to choose to forgive and forget. And I was talking last night about I deeply care for all of my ex-relationships. I'm really good friends with nearly all of them, and even the ones that I had one relationship when I was young that he got very, very jealous and started going through my phone, and it created this, like, I was in business and I was like working all the time, and I was like, he was going out to parties and nightclubs all the time, and so I was like, what is he doing if he needs to look at my stuff? And then I started looking at his phone, and it turned me into jealousy. Experiencing it, being it, turned me into a person that I thought was the most disgusting, ugly thing that I've ever felt and been. And I was like, and I was very young, and I'm so grateful to have learnt that lesson very young, that I was like, who I became when I was being jealous or like trying to uncover what he was doing was the lowest vibration, ugliest version of myself that I had ever known. And being that was far more disgusting to me than anyone cheating on me. And so I was like, if people are going to cheat, they're going to cheat. That's on them. That's not like anything I can do about it in the moment. But I'm never going to be this person again, because it was like disgusting on every level for me. So jealousy is just something that I don't go into. If there's some issue, I'll like openly just like address it. Like, hey, like I'm noticing this, or I'm seeing this. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
So I'm really open and willing to have those conversations if any feelings arise or something that I feel. And most of the time I just let it be, because things play out and it doesn't even matter. But if there's something that I'm feeling any sense of like uncomfort about, I just address it, and we talk about it, and we move through it. So no, I don't experience any jealousy when he does romantic things ever.
So what do you think is the glue? That's the last question. What do you think is the glue that holds our relationship together? And then we can end, and we'll share that little story. We promised you guys a nugget at the end as to how we've made it work for 10 years. Kate's the longest relationship I've been in. I was married for almost 14 years, but separated 7 of the 14 years with Oliver's mom when I was at a child marriage. I was married as a child.
Married as a child.
She was. We was engaged when she was 18, or just about. We got married when Ange was 19.
Yeah.
So what is the glue that you think, or what makes a relationship work? That's probably we can reframe it as that and end with that question.
Communication.
Yeah.
Like we're willing to have hard conversations.
Which is really hard for me. I'm Mr. like keep it even and peaceful. I'm a peacemaker on all fronts for sure.
Yeah, and like you used to be just shove it up.
Avoid it. I would think I would be an avoidant, not like an attack. Like there's all those different types. I have to work hard not to be an avoidant.
Yeah, and he'll clean the house like a demon. If there's a hard conversation that he doesn't really want to deal with, he'll have it, but he's like scrubbing the house while it's happening.
Yeah.
He has to be doing something.
I think she manipulates me sometimes. I'd be like, oh, the house
needs a cleaning. Let's start an argument.
You know what you never do? It's like, what?
We don't blame each other either.
That's some glue,
we
yeah.
never ever blame each other. We'll talk through things that don't feel good or like where we went wrong. We laugh a lot. Yeah. Even when times are really hard, and I'm a very steady person. Like I don't have crazy emotions. I don't get like, you know, and I'm very practical. So there's not a big roller coaster of emotions going on, which makes it easier, I think. And like, because I know some women experience a lot of emotion and like project a lot, and that can be. So I don't do that. But I think that like I believe anything can be solved if you're willing to talk about it. And we've both done a lot of work, and we've done communication programs and things like that so that we have the tools and we teach them because they're so valuable. But if you can have a conversation about something, you can move it, and that gets unstuck something that might be stuck. So I think that's it. And powerfully choosing each other.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like not taking for granted that like because we're engaged and like that I own you or something, or like or you own me, or I'm your man. It's just like you're like no. We have to make the choice to show up for each other every day. There's not taking for granted that like this is forever and like you're stuck in this thing. Is like, well, we get to show up and almost like earn the right to like I don't stop showing up saying, wow, we're together, like you're there, like it's showing up in a way and making one of my teachers, Kathy, and because then the relationship can change. But if you're still showing up in love, you're not going to just bounce. Like it's a commitment really to love.
And you have to, I think also, like, I am a super practical person, and I'm not a romantic person. So, and that's
I didn't even get a Valentine's card today.
Not yet. There's still time. I'm terrible at cards. But I wrote this in the post. Actually, it started that way. So for me, knowing Paul's love languages, knowing what makes him tick, is
the 5 love languages helped us a lot.
And to really like soften into doing things that are not natural for me, but I know really like light him up. And it's just it's taking the time to do that. It's so easy to get in, especially when you have a child, to get into the mundane and the routine, and to not, make love, and to not, because it's like running businesses and children can be tiring. So but if we're not good, everything else falls apart, and people forget that. They're just like, oh, well, let's take care of the kids, and then maybe when they're in college, we can enjoy our life again. Or like, there's always this, maybe at this date, and it's like, no, you have to continuously show up and take little moments to appreciate and love the person the way they need to be loved, not the way, like, I can do a bunch of stuff for Paul and it won't land. But if a lot of people give the love that they want to receive. That's what the book, The 5 Love Languages, is really good for. Yeah, because I'm a doer and I like to do things, and like, but sometimes we're both acts of service, but my acts of service is for our future all the time, of what, like, things to live into. But because he is in the moment and not in the vision, that doesn't land for him. So I can be doing everything over here, but it's like, I'm like, I just made you the most beautiful snack, and you didn't even thank me. You just show me. So it's like being very present to the time spaciousness of love languages, as well as what the love language is. So an act of service is in the moment for him, and mine is in the future. And then we were doing this like crazy, and it wasn't landing, and until we realized. So it's like taking moments to make sure he feels appreciated and loved and cherished for all the little moments that he makes so beautiful, and the journey that he makes beautiful is a big love language of Paul. So it's just really understanding what he needs to feel special, and not just like, I'm so busy and he'll just get by. And it's like, yeah, you can do that, but that becomes a wall that you build between each other, and then people are like, I don't understand why there was infidelity. I don't understand why we drifted apart. I don't understand. And it's like, well, you just allowed the mundane and the little things to stop you from noticing one another and really like taking the time, no matter how tired you are, no matter how hard it felt to really, because when you do it, you're like, oh, that was easy and it felt great. Sometimes the thought of like putting that effort and energy in is harder. So I think that's.
But the glue that keeps us together, I think, is, and this, we'll wrap it up with this, was one of our teachers. We were at a conference and you were talking about having an and life and a but life. Some of you have heard this before, but people raise their hand. There's like, I want to have $1 million, but I want to sleep till noon. And it was like, he said, raise your hand if there's an area where you're like, I want this, but this. And people would raise their hand and be like, I want to travel, but I have a dog. I want to, but. And he was like, if you can just train your brain to go, I want X and Y. And
so replacing all the buts in your life with an and creates a possibility in your instead brain. Of a point, like a dot, like what do you call it? A
period.
Period.
But your brain starts to figure it out. You guys call it full stop?
Full stop.
So weird.
I know.
Full stop. I was like,
full
what?
stop.
Okay.
Like, but that says it all.
It's weird.
Full stop. Period is something that happens to ladies once a month. A full stop is a full stop.
That is ridiculous.
That's what happens.
So he said how to have an and life, so not a but life. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, raise your hand. And I was like, I want commitment, but I want freedom. And I was directly talking about a relationship, and he was pretty awkward in the moment.
In front of like 200 people, and we're in the front row.
I'm so surprised I did that. That was really interesting. Mm-hmm. And he goes, well, you two need to talk. But he brought me up and he started working with me a little bit in front of 200 people, which I have no issue with. I'm an exhibitionist. But we processed.
I was like, okay, we're doing this.
We're doing this in front of 200 people. But we started. So he started to he asked me, what does commitment mean? And I'm like, well, it means chains and confinement and taking away all my freedoms. And it's like, because I had just been divorced and gone through the end of a relationship that in some ways felt.
Well, actually, you didn't say that to him. You said that to me.
Which part?
On that part. On the way home, he's like, you guys need to have a conversation. Like, he worked with him for a bit and then said, you need to have a conversation. And we were driving home in separate vehicles. We were living together at the time. Like, we were pretty new, maybe 6 months into living together. We started doing work on our relationship from the beginning, and we would never have made it without that.
We wouldn't have made it without this distinction that we're about to wrap up here with.
And so we were driving in separate cars, and I said, what is love to you? What is a relationship to you? And he literally was like, chains, balls and chains, like, this whole thing. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry that is your understanding of it, because it's not mine. But then literally 3 days later, he was working on this project. He did this project for ALS where he raised over $100,000 doing this this benefit.
An art show.
And he had a coach at the time that was helping him put it all together. And this is literally 3 days later, which is hilarious. And he didn't put it together because he was like, I was really stuck, and then I realized the more I commit, the more I just do the thing I said I was doing, make the calls, and the more freedom I get. And I just looked at him, and I was like, oh, isn't that interesting? And he was looking at me like confused, and I was like, so in this area of your life, more commitment means freedom, but when it comes to relationship, commitment means confinement. So he had merged commitment with confinement when it came to relationships because of his previous experiences of love, right? And so because in that moment, we got to define that it became confinement. He then was able to, he had a word and a tool to start moving it and shifting it. And then he was like, oh yeah, when I play my guitar more and more, I get more confident. I get freedom. So commitment to guitar is freedom. Commitment to this project is freedom.
Yeah,
why is it not with relationship?
Right. The more I would study a script, the more committed I was to a character or a movie, the more free I was on the day we were filming. Or my voice, the more I commit to vocalizing every day, the more free my voice is. But in relationships, I'd been like, no, that's confinement. And it's just, I had a huge breakthrough. And it was the turning point in our relationship. I was like, all right, I'm just going to commit to this relationship in the pursuit of freedom. And then when we got engaged in Italy, when I actually proposed to her, I was like, you know how we've been talking about commitment and freedom? And I was like, well, I'm ready for some more freedom. And I got down on one knee and proposed to her. So that's, I think, the glue that sticks together is just knowing that the more that you can commit, the more freedom is there. It's depth over distance. But yeah.
And I think it's not natural. Like, we're animals. We're from the animal kingdom in a way, with just higher consciousness. But it's not our natural state of being to just be with one person. It's like something that's been put on us. And then,
very true.
And then,
every
the
guy's
people that are like,
every man is like, yeah.
The people that are like, I'm being avant-garde. I'm like having poly relationships and doing all this. And I was like, actually, you're just returning to being part of the animal kingdom, which is like natural instincts, which is like, you're just following impulses, right? Of like, oh, attractive, this is this. It actually takes something to powerfully choose someone over and over again, especially when you don't want to. That, I think, is evolution at its highest. But doing it in a way, like, I think in the old days, everyone stayed together, but they chose when it was horrible or not great for either person.
Sure.
But to choose and to keep having that person have an amazing experience, like both of you, that is evolution. And this is purely my opinion. You can have whatever opinion you want. This is just what I've come to. And so, but you make it so easy to choose you over and over again. Someone that takes care of themselves in all ways and don't let themselves go and like has a shiny outlook on life. It makes it very easy to choose that person. So thank you for making it so easy to choose you.
You're welcome.
Like making this life so beautiful.
Yeah. Me too. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Well, that's the end of our little quiz. It wasn't 15 minutes.
How long was it?
It was 39, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure when we started. But God bless you guys. That is our fun little. We did this a few years ago, and it was fun for us to go back and actually look at it. But Kate and I also have this passion we do, which is called Freedom Alchemist. So if you're watching this in the future and you kind of feel stuck, we'll put a link down below of this at some point. You can click and look a little bit more. Kate started this. She has her has her master's in NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, and she's a Tony Robbins trained strategic coach and a strategic intervention coach, which is a really powerful way of helping people identify their sabotages and their upper limits. And I have a functional nutrition degree as well, and so we have this really special thing called Freedom Alchemist. So if this
and
is
one of the pillars is communication.
Yeah, one of our
truly
three legs
believe
is communication.
You get your health right, you get your mind in a place that's like a garden, and then you have communication that you can thrive very powerfully in life. So it's like the triangle that we believe creates all of the sauce and juice and magic of life. And so that's what we focus on, that trio, to really enhance people's lives. It's what we're committed to and passionate about.
You just said garden, and I think that if you treat your relationship like a garden, just like your body's not a machine, your body's a garden, and your mind is a garden. It needs to be, negative thoughts need to be taken out like weeds. I think a relationship too is like a garden. If it gets enough sunshine and attention and love and water, and it gets moved,
weeded and fertilized, and
it gets in all the seasons that it goes through. A garden needs different nutrients at different seasons. Like we're in the season of parenting, and it's like viewing your relationship as a garden. And this is, some of you are single, but this is also with your kids. Everything we're talking about, you could create that polarity with your children as well.
Totally. And truly, especially in this day and age, what is lacking is relationships. Like and then if you think you can just eat well and exercise and your body's going to be fine, but your relationships are a shambles, forget about it. Like, it's truly, you have to have this triangle.
You do.
And you have to know how to have those conversations, and you have to know how to heal things, and you have to like move through the seasons of relationships, and to trust, and to so there's tools you can learn to make that easy, and that's why we focus on those too. So relationships, guys, just like this AI world we're going into, it's gonna disintegrate relationships further if we don't put attention on it. And if we do, we can use the AI in a profound, powerful way for good, but if not, it's going to go like in ways that we don't want it to. So use the power.
That's cute.
That you have with communication. Learn how to communicate in a way that lands really powerfully, and have your relationships be just magnificent, because if you have good relationships, your life, you'll be able to die happy. Your life will be
die with a smile. Magically,
because dying with a ton of money and no one that cares about you doesn't bring any joy.
That's true.
So, and all dying because your health and all of it.
Die with a smile.
Relationships, like, make them magical, and you can do it. Anyone can make any relationship as magical, and you have to know when it no longer will serve you at all. And let them go too.
So happy Valentine's, everybody. It's 2025. So if you're seeing this later, just share it with somebody who, maybe this conversation is inspiring. I'd love to hear in the comments too your kind of love story, so feel free to do that. I play music. I have a live schedule. It's on paulgreen.com, and then freedom-alchemist is freedom-alchemist.com is where you can find all things for Freedom Alchemist. All right.
Happy Love Day.
Happy Love Day. Bye, you guys.